Hey friends, today I'm sharing my version of a clean, modern makeup look. Now when I say clean, I'm really referring to like a classic, polished, timeless look, something you can wear day and night. Super easy. I've got a step-by-step tutorial for you. Let's get started. So first we're gonna start with an eye primer. I always recommend starting with a primer. I'm starting with the Paint Pot from MAC in the shade Soft Ochre. And I am actually gonna use my finger to blend this onto my lid. What I like about this particular product is that it is pretty much a skin tone, a very light skin tone. It's not really gonna compete with any colors I choose to put on my eyelid, like any shadows. It's just going to enhance them. It's also gonna brighten my eyelid. Do you see what it did here? So if you have any darkness on your lid, which a lot of us can have, maybe veining or dark purple or blue tones, this is just gonna help brighten and kind of create this really pretty, even canvas for your shadow. Now the key with this is keeping that layer pretty sheer and light. You don't want to apply too much of this product, but you want it to be a nice even application, meaning you don't want to have any hard lines where it stops, because even though it's a light and you might not like see it, when you go to put shadow on top of it, if you get to an area where there's eye primer or paint pot and nothing, it's gonna like stick there and it's gonna be very difficult to blend. So just make sure you have a nice even blend. And I'm even taking this from my crease up into my brow because the color's so light, it'll work as a soft brow highlight also. Now for this look, we're gonna be using mostly mattes. I might pop a shimmer in at the very end, but I just feel like a soft, neutral, solid matte look is very polished, very modern, and just this very clean, polished, like classic look. So I'm gonna be using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I really adore this palette. I know it's all neutrals, it's all browns, they're all matte, but I don't know if there's a palette that I use more than this. I really love this. So I'm actually gonna go in and I'm gonna start by taking the lightest shade and the second lightest shade. I'm just gonna kind of take my brush into both pans. I'm using a BK Beauty 201. This is a pretty large crease brush. It's got a real rounded, fluffy tip. So this is gonna do a great job of just lightly and sheerly applying shadow. I don't wanna pack this on. I don't want a high impact. I really just kinda wanna use this to set that eyeshadow primer. And I'm even gonna take it underneath the brow to work as a soft little highlight there. And I'm even gonna kind of work it right in here. What that's gonna do is just kind of open up the eye because I'm putting lightness there. It's just gonna open up and make your eyes appear a little brighter and a little wider. Next, I'm gonna go and create some definition and dimension in the crease. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. I was kind of deciding, I was like, am I gonna go with this one or am I gonna go with this one? I'm gonna start here. It's a lighter of these two. It's a good place to start. Depending on your skin tone, you might choose to go a little darker, but I'm gonna go with this lighter, and I'm using the BK Beauty 212 brush. So this in comparison to what we just used is much smaller. What that translates to is it's going to give a more control and a little bit more punch with the color. And I'm just gonna look directly into the mirror and I'm gonna place it in the outer corner and I'm just gonna sweep and make my way over. I'm kind of doing like a back and forth windshield wiper little effect here, just back and forth. The shade is kind of light. I probably could have gone a little darker and it would have been okay. We are gonna go darker, but I'm gonna apply this first. I'm just working this all the way from the outer corner into right here to kind of meet the bridge of my nose. I almost feel like that color is my skin tone, just slightly more kind of yellow. The beauty in working with lighter shades and building up is that you have a lot of room to make mistakes and they're much easier to blend out when you have lighter shades and good brushes. If you're new to my videos, I am actually the founder of BK Beauty. I feel like when I launched BK Beauty, those of you who watched my channel obviously knew about it, but I feel like we've grown so much that a lot of people who shop our brand don't know me. And I'm gonna kind of extend that out to kind of like meet this imaginary line of where the tail of my brow ends. Just gonna elongate the eye. Okay, so I've got a good little foundation. You don't really see much change there. I'm gonna go into that darker one that I debated starting with. We're gonna go into that same brush and we're just going to kind of build on what we just did. Now I'm taking the side of the brush, so I'm not using the tip so much anymore. I'm actually using the side, and I'm going to place this on the actual lid. So before we were really working and concentrating that into the crease, now we are gonna work that on the actual lid. So I'm placing this on the outer part of my eyelid. I just love a good matte warm eye. So next we're gonna deepen it up a bit. I'm gonna work in the same palette. I've now switched my brush. Let me compare you the two brushes, or the three brushes we've used. Okay, so the largest you see is the 201. The middle one is the 212, which I just used, and now I'm going to the 211. This little guy here is more precise. He's smaller, but he still has that round, fluffy tip, which is gonna do all the blending work for me, but he's gonna really punch an impact. So I'm gonna go into this deeper shade here, and I'm using the tip, but also the side of the tip of that brush. So I'm not going in like this, I'm kind of going like this. I am going to tap off any excess on my hand. Try to avoid tapping it on like that. I mean, you know, you can do it, but you will, over time, start to see little tiny dents in your handle and your ferrule, and nobody wants that. Okay, so then I'm gonna take this and I'm going to run it on my lid and just kind of go back and forth, and work my way to the center of my lid. So this isn't really in the crease, this is more on the lid. And then whatever's kind of left on my brush, I'm gonna just work it into my crease, but I don't have much product there. There we go. I'm really working this back and forth to really kind of take over a lot of that lid. I still have some brightness in the inner corner, which I'm gonna leave, but I want most of the lid to be like this kind of transition from darker to lighter in the very inner corner. So you can see a variety of shades here, but you can't really see where one starts or stops. And working in those layers really helps you achieve that beautiful, like, overall airbrushed look to the eye. Okay, so we're pretty good. I'm gonna go back in with that second brush that I used, the 212, and I'm not adding anything to this, but whatever was on that, I'm just using the tip of this, really do the last bit of blending work for me. Just a tiny, just to kind of diffuse, blend everything together, almost look like an airbrush machine did this eye makeup. Okay, next we're gonna do liner. The key with modern makeup is keeping that liner just really clean and tight, and really just kind of an extension of the lash line versus liner. I'm choosing to use the Luminaster Dawn Till Dusk eyeliner in the shade brown. I am gonna sharpen this so I have a really nice tip to it, so I can control, again, how thick this line gets. Look at that. Oh, is there anything better than a freshly sharpened pencil? I don't think so. I'm gonna lay it on its side, and I'm going to start in the outer half of my lash line, and I'm just gonna softly kind of sketch this onto my lash line. I'm trying to keep this real thin, you guys. This pencil's nice because it's very soft, so I don't have to put a lot of pressure or go back and forth a lot, and I get good payoff. Now, if it's not perfect, that's okay, because the beauty about this pencil is you got some time to work with it. I'm gonna stop there, because if you try to perfect it, you end up with a line that's just too thick. So I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna go in with our little 208 brush, and I'm just going to kind of run it over that line. I'm not using any shadow, I'm just running it over this line while it's still creamy and I have time. And then I'm gonna take that little tail, I'm gonna take the little excess product and kind of wing it out a bit. Not much, just a little, so I have a really clean, polished eyeliner. And if you notice, I used a dark brown. I did not use black. Nothing is wrong with black. I think brown, like a really rich espresso brown, I think it's really nice for a lot of us with lighter eyes, or it just, you know, can give a softer look. But if you love black liner, you do black liner. I will wear black liner for events and occasions and photo shoots, but day to day, I stick to brown. So I'm gonna do the same thing and then go in with my angled brush. This formula of the liner is so nice, you guys. It really is so soft and creamy, so you have time to fix any mistakes or do what I'm doing right now, which is kind of create a little wing liner. But once it dries and sets, it stays in place really well. It's the best of both worlds. I think we are there. Perfect. Lovely. Do we like? Now, one trick you can do, and I still feel like this falls into the modern makeup theme, if you do like a real clean, crisp liner like I've done, and you look and something doesn't seem even, or it just seems a little too harsh, you can always take a tiny little pencil brush. This is the BK Beauty 210, and take a dark shadow and take like a dark, this like kind of espresso brown. I'm gonna tap off the excess, and we're just gonna kind of softly run it on top of that liner. This really does lend itself to modern makeup, seeing this kind of softer eyeliner. You still get a lot of definition, but it's just a little like softer lines. So neither one is right or wrong, just options for you. And especially with this look, where you've got the darker shadow on the lid, it's really easy to do this technique. It's hard to mess it up because you can kind of blend that shadow into the lid with that other darker shadow. Perfect. So for lower lashes, we're gonna keep it pretty clean and pretty simple. We're not gonna use liner. I'm just gonna use shadow. I think that this really is kind of what we're seeing now with modern makeup, is just this really like clean lower lash line. But I still want some definition there. And I'm actually gonna go in with this shade right here, and I'm using that same 210 brush that we just used. It's a nice little pencil brush. And we're just gonna get right in there, work our way back and forth on that lash line. And I'm gonna kind of work it so it kind of just stops and fades in the halfway point. If you want a more almond shape, you can pull it over a little more. If you want a more rounded open eye, you really kind of want to keep it, you know, in the center. I'm gonna just take a little brush, with a little powder on it, kind of soften right here, sweep away any fallout. Lovely. Okay, now it's time for mascara. I am gonna curl my lashes. Lashes are huge and can give you a lot of definition on the eye, especially if you choose to take the eyeshadow a little lighter than this. You can really get your definition from curling your lashes in your mascara. I am gonna go in and apply a lash primer. This is the Dior Maximizer. This is my favorite. I have yet to find a better one. I have found some good ones out there, but you know what? I just love this one. So very excited to try a brand new mascara, still in the box. First time to use it ever is right now. This is from the brand One Size, and it's the mascara is called Fantasize, and I have it in black. I like the brush. This is what the brush looks like. Tiny little teeth, and it's very clean, as in there's not a lot of gunk that comes out on the wand. So I like that. I like when mascaras, you pull them out and there's just a lot of product on there. It's really hard to keep the lashes separated and clean. I feel like they get clumpy real fast. Clump City is what I call it. So I'm just gonna place this underneath the base and root of my lashes, kind of wiggle it back and forth like I always do. Kind of try and get all the mascara onto the lid. Oh, wow. Okay, this I like. This is the kind of lash I like. Lots of like thickness and fullness. Yes. I love this. Not super duper lengthening though, but I'm getting a lot of, it's almost like I can't do too much because it might get clumpy. That looks good though. Does that not look so good? Oh my God, I love that. Okay, let's go to the other side. Now I made the mistake of letting my lash primer dry. If you can, you guys apply it when it's wet still, because sometimes the primer will dry and then it'll impact how your ability to separate the lashes with the mascara. This is good though. It's very volumizing. I didn't even read anything about this mascara. Watch me look it up and it says it's like a lengthening mascara, not volumizing. But all I see is volume. I see a lot of volume. It seems like a drier formula. Like it's not real wet. It almost feels like I need to dip it back in. Do we like that? I like that. I almost want to do one more coat. It says it's flake proof. Okay, so a few things. It says 24-hour wear. Don't wear your mascara for 24 hours. 24-hour flake proof, 24-hour curl retention, 24-hour length retention. Ultimate lifting and lengthening mascara. Okay, so it's claiming it's a lengthening and lifting. I do see a lift for sure. I mean, I curled my lashes, but I do see my lashes are just, you know, straight up. I mean, of course it's giving it some length, but I really think this is like straight up volume and thickness. I don't really feel like this is a super lengthening mascara, but I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I'm just surprised that it doesn't say volumizing or thickening. Okay, let's do a tiny bit on the lower. Keeping the lower lashes really clean is also part of this trend because you don't want a heavy lash. So nice. Okay, the eyes are done, you guys. The eyes are done. What do we think? I love it. Just very clean, very polished, my kind of look. So I think we can all agree that the trend is really glowy, beautiful cheeks. Cream products are having their moment right now. I'm gonna share my favorite blush of the moment. It's the Jane Iredale blush in the shade Balmy. I just love the way that this looks on the cheeks and the skin. It is absolutely beautiful. And I think it's a really beautiful shade for all skin tones. It's this really beautiful, warm, just pink. I love it. I like to use the BK Beauty 112 brush, and I like to go directly to the product. And I'm gonna start kind of just behind the apple of my cheek and then kind of blend up and back. I'm gonna keep the blush a little light. This has a lot of pigment, so you really don't need to apply a lot. For lips, we're gonna keep the lips pretty soft, but super glossy. I'm going in with Rare Beauty lipstick in the shade Humble. This is just a really soft, rosy nude. I have a little bit of lip balm on. By the way, this lip balm is my favorite. Where are you? It's this Kira Weiss lip balm, and let me actually see which shade it is. Can I pull this out? These are like the refillable. This is the shade, is it just red? I think it's just red is what it says on here. It's so beautiful. This is what it looks like on the lips. Very sheer, obviously not what it looks like in the bullet, but it just gives the perfect amount of color to the lips. So I'm gonna go in with Humble, and I'm not using a lip liner. I want the lips to look kind of like pillowy and just soft. Oh, this color is so nice. especially on a lip balm. It has just a real creamy application. And then I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Ta. This is the, I'm not sure, you guys. I will have it listed and linked down below. This was actually sent to me as a gift when I ordered from their website. I ordered a product and they sent me this, which I've really been loving. It's just a very, pretty much clear, slight little tint to it. There it is right there. Lip oil, glossy oil, really high shine, beautiful. I love the scent. Apply this on the lips. And I like to take it all the way up to the edge of the lip and almost trace the lip like I would with lip liner, but with this, just to get that like high volume, super big pout to the lips. And this is it. So super clean, modern makeup, very polished, very neutral, very appropriate for any event, anything, whether it's work, something after work, happy hour, you name it. Change the lip up if you want to glam it up. Pop some lashes if you want to glam it up. Add a little sparkle on top. But this look is just a great foundational look to take you wherever you want to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'm going to link one here that you might also enjoy. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you picked up and learned something new. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. That's some of the most rewarding feedback of what I do, is to hear what you learned and what you're going to apply in your everyday makeup routine. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Have a beautiful day. Bye.